What's up, YouTube? Wanted to make this quick little video. Now, I did see the November events were out, and that will be the next video I make, but I just wanted to get this out there in case some people are looking to buy this ring. And it's because the last video I made, I kind of debated some people into buying this ring. I had no idea that this ring was actually going to go core, or that GGG had the original intention of making it core. So if you saw in the last video, GGG announced that Lake of Kalandra was not going core, and usually when a league doesn't go core, that means Kalandra's touch or the associated uniques would not be obtainable. Now, most of the times they haven't added the item into the core draw pool, so we actually go look at the previous leagues and what they've actually done with them. So let's go look at the Path of Exile previous league. Path of Exile leagues. And Scourge League didn't really have one, but if you remembered in the past, so Arch Nemesis League never had a core unique. Sentinel League didn't really have any besides the unique Sentinel. Scourge League never had any. Expedition League had some, but Expedition League actually went core, as we all knew. And Ultimatum League had some uniques, but they didn't go core. So those were like Hate Forge, the Mahuzado Shield, and Heist went core, Ritual went core, Harvest went core, the Lyrum went core. That's actually pretty crazy. It seems like every single league has gone core in the past, but now the new leagues, as you can see, haven't really gone core. Sentinel never went core. Lake of Kalandra's not going core. Arch Nemesis didn't really go core, but it kind of went core in the end, and Scourge never went core. So you can see a theme is that the new leagues obviously aren't good enough to be core because they're too small of additions to the game. But so we haven't really had that much evidence of what they intended to do, but I think last time was definitely Ultimatum League, and when Ultimatum didn't go core, the Ultimatum uniques also did not go core. However, Bex confirmed on Twitter that Kalandra's touch was going to be added into the core draw pool. So you might be wondering, how did this transpire? Well, someone in the community called Lighty, and that's not to be confused with the best PoE player in the world, is not that Lighty. So he asked for clarification on if Kalandra Unique Ring was going to go core. So he wrote, since it's confirmed that Kalandra League isn't going core, can we expect the Kalandra Unique Ring to go core? Or will its drop potential be removed along with Kalandra League? We'd love some clarity, Bex, if possible before the league's over. So Bex says, not determined yet. I'm waiting on a discussion between some people to take place, but once I find out, I'll reply again and let you know. And after she found out, she says the current plan is for the unique ring to go core in some form. So if you ever have any like cool little questions you want to ask, make sure to @Bex or @PoE, and they might answer you sometimes, right? So if you have any like burning questions, maybe like what's the name of the new expansion? Will 3.20 be the best league ever? You can go at them and they might respond. And that also brings the question is, can we know if Kalandra based rings such as Penumbra Ring, Shadow Ring, Tenebrous Ring, Gloam Ring, and Dust Ring will also go core? So these are some of the rings that have like, I don't remember what they actually do, but I think one of them is like increased skill duration or reduced skill duration and or something like that. And then this person brings up a good point. Why do lake tablets need to be bricks? So the reason why the lake tablets will be deleted is because Bex says we're deleting them because they're able to drop legacy unique items, which isn't allowed in permanent leagues. So I'm not really sure what that means. So if you have the lake tablet, you can actually drop legacy unique items. Is that something that's currently doable in the current Lake of Kalandra League? I'm not too sure at all. So you might be wondering, how does this all factor in to the Kalandra's touch price? Well, this actually brings us to one of the biggest problems of the trade system that I discovered. So since I made the last video, the item has been pretty heavily price fixed. I know a lot of people bought it at 2 meters all the way up to 4 meters. A lot of people probably thought it was going to go to like 5, 6, or maybe even 7 meters by the time it goes to Standard League. And numerous people actually bought the ring at around 4 meters and able to take, in order to take advantage of how the ring might not go core. So if you can actually see here, this is a screenshot I took from my stream that I saw when I tried to go look at Kalandra's touch and see what exactly the price of the ring was. And as you can see here, every single person listing the item, all 10 of them except one, had the item up and was AFK. Now you might be saying, maybe they all took a coordinated bathroom break. Maybe they all went out to eat dinner like Lord of the Rings. They're all lords and they all have these rings. But the simple fact is, Most of these people who had the ring were trying to price fix it higher. They're trying to put the price artificially low, or low as in like 3 mirrors, but they wouldn't sell it. They would buy up any that get posted at like 2.9 mirrors or so, and then they buy it and then they relist it at 4 mirrors. So in this world, there's something called karma, and when you do something like this, they actually kind of got screwed over. So after Bex's tweet, the ring that was supposedly 4 mirrors or 3.5 mirrors is now currently selling for 2 mirrors because people found out that it's gonna be obtainable. So if we actually look at the trade site, let's go see here. Now all of a sudden there's 15 mirrors up, or 15 Kalandra's touch up. And you can see here a lot of people are trying to sell it at 2 mirrors. And you can actually even see, funnily enough, that there's some people who actually have 2 copies of this ring, like DDEEYY and this person right here, trying to sell it for 7 mirrors. And then let's see, is there any other duplicates on here? Can't really tell, right? There's one Enzo. I don't really see another one. But usually if you actually try to look at the high-end items, you'll see a lot of times it's always the same people trying to sell it. Supposedly there's even like guilds out there that band together and try to price fix items and try to buy up the lower stock by putting a lower price. And that really illustrates one of the main problems with the current trade system. But as you can see here, this is the pricing history of the ring. Started off at like 30 divines, went all the way up and then down. And then once they announced that it was not going core, Lake of Kalandra, it went all the way up. And I'm pretty sure it'll go all the way down to around here after people find out about the news. Now, this is pretty much a classic case of what happens when you have some sort of insider trading. Because imagine you knew Bex personally and she was able to give you the down low about how you were able to actually going to be obtaining the ring, and you could sell off all of your rings that you had for like 3 to 4 mirrors and you'll be in the clear. But now, because we didn't have the insider knowledge, or the first person to obtain the knowledge would probably be someone who was on Reddit all the time, or someone who followed Lighty on Twitter or Bex on Twitter to see what she replies to. And those are the people who would be able to move as soon as move the item as soon as they saw the news. So this does illustrate the biggest problem, and this is why having a healthy supply or player base is really important, because it is extremely easy to price fix items and kind of just buy up the stock, reprice it higher or lower depending on what you want to do with it, and then change the price or raise the price of an item artificially. So you can see here, there's like 15 items, right? But if the league was more popular and you had 89 of these up or 50 of them up at the same time, you would see that it's a lot harder for someone to have that much currency to be able to buy it all up. We see this numerous times with price fixing when Mage Blood first came out and there's a limited supply. I know Omniscience had the same thing a lot of times when it was super rare, like 2 leagues ago. But really illustrates to you why a healthy player base is very important for the economy of the game. Now, people wonder, how much should the item actually be? Should it be 1 mirror? Should it be 2 mirrors? Most people will say that due to mirror fees in standard and generally in even temp leagues, with it being around half a mirror, the item should be minimum 1.5 mirrors. But then you also have to take account for the fact that the item provides you more diversity for builds. You don't need to sell off a mirrored copy of the ring if you want to switch builds up. A lot of times when you want to sell off a mirrored copy, you're not actually able to recoup the cost of the item in terms of the mirror and the mirror fee. Now, the question remains, what exactly will be the rarity tier of this item? Will it be super rare in terms of a headhunter status or mage blood? It will be pretty cool if there's another chase item to get excited about. I do know a lot of times when you do magic finding or any sort of like where you're trying to find items, a lot of times it's really exciting to see a mirror drop, or you see a headhunter drop, or mage blood drop, or squire drop. And if we add Kalandra's touch to that pool, and as we can see, there's really not that many items in the game that are really worth that much that can actually drop that's not from bosses. If you look at Savior, and this is, I think this is a foiled Savior, right? So you can see there's no unique weapons really worth that much. For except armors, this comes from a boss. This also comes from a boss. Squire is literally the only item that's not from heist or some boss that is actually worth anything. And the unique accessories, as we all know, is Kalandra's touch, Mage Blood, Headhunter, and then all these other ones, Omni, Unato's Vow, Ashes of the Stars, Strangle Gas, are all from some boss or some Ravage Blight map. So there is no real big ticket drop that you can just find on the ground. It's actually very, very hard. And all these flasks, there's a boss drop, expedition boss drop, and this incursion drop. Unique jewels does have a few that are pretty cool. You have Unnatural Instinct, which is a global drop. However, this is extremely, extremely rare. And then you also have Inspire Learning. So if you ever find like a Viridian Jewel on the ground or a Crimson Jewel, make sure it's in your filter so you can look at it. You never know when you might find like 20 Divines on the ground. And it will happen if you play the game enough. And one last thing about Kalandra's Touch is that it's very, very good for mirroring items that you actually can't ever mirror. So if the item is corrupted already, or if the item is mirrored, like say you want a reflected jewelry item, but there's only one of a kind, then it's very, very good. So it's like, look at some of these rings that was created with recombinators in standard. So that's pretty much why Kalandra's Touch has so much value, because it actually allows you to go above and beyond and mirror corrupted and mirrored items. But thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you find more Kalandra's Touch Divine Orbs than me, and see you next time. Bye!